have to take something away. My preference is the running game.
Ravens flock rundown is the place to be.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. The Ravens just had a dominant victory over the Broncos, 41-10. Lamar Jackson was absolutely insane in this game. Perfect passer rating, 3 touchdowns, 3 incompletions. This is the 4th time Lamar's had a perfect passer rating, which officially makes him have the most games with a perfect passer rating in NFL history. Lamar is well on his way to his 3rd MVP, man, and he proved it today. This was a tough Denver defense, and they were really slowing the run down for a lot of this game, really selling out to stop the run, which their defensive coordinator said they were going to do, so no surprise there. We've seen it all year long when teams sell out to stop the run, to stop Derrick Henry or Lamar Jackson. Lamar can easily go through the air, man. We got weapons everywhere. Zay Flowers was the guy in this game. He's the guy most weeks. You know, he's definitely wide receiver 1, but proved it again in this game. That touchdown right before halftime was huge, man. Zay to make that play, that cut back, and then hit the Jets for the touchdown, get us up 21-10, and get ball coming out of the second half. This game was basically over after the Ravens went down on the first drive of the 3rd quarter and scored, and it was 28-10. And all of a sudden, the defense starts balling, you know, the pass rush starts getting home a little bit, and that was not the case in the first half. Defense definitely had a better showing than we've been seeing, but once again, they weren't really dominant until that offense gets out to a 2-3 score lead, and then obviously the other team becomes very one-dimensional. Bo Nix also missed multiple throws that could have led to more points, so that's a rookie quarterback, man. It's things we talked about in this pregame episode. This is a rookie quarterback. The Denver Broncos fans absolutely tore up my comments in the preview episode. Shout out to you guys, though. Respect. Like, I've never seen a team all year or last year. I've only had this channel this is the 2nd season, but that was the most comments by an opposing team that I've ever seen. But this Ravens offense is a different beast. Derrick Henry, 1,000 yards on the season already. It's week 9, man. He leads the league in rushing yards, rushing touchdowns. Lamar's well on his way for a 3rd MVP. This is a different dynamic offense that we haven't seen maybe ever in the history of ball, man. Having runners like Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, and then Lamar Jackson being able to throw at the level he is this year, it's different. Todd Monken is calling incredible games. Shout out to Todd Monken. Shout out to the offensive line for the majority of today. They definitely had some bumps, but that's a tough Denver defense. That Denver defense is consistently getting home on a lot of teams, and outside of really the first drive, I was very concerned when they sacked Lamar on that first drive on like a 3-man rush. I was like, come on, man, is this the type of day it's going to be? And then they were blowing up Derrick Henry in the backfield on a lot of runs, but then we just start going play action, and it's deadly, man. Zay Flowers is uncoverable in space, and we added another guy that barely even played today in Deontay Johnson that can do a lot of the same things. I think this Ravens offense is playing at the highest level that I've ever seen a Ravens offense play. Lamar Jackson is playing at an all-time quarterback level. I am not being biased here, man. This is crazy what we are witnessing right now, and I feel blessed to be a Ravens fan. I'm just soaking in these moments, enjoying this ride right now, and enjoying these games. Defense did have a lot of good moments in this game. I don't think that this is a bad defensive performance by any means. We held them to 10. You know, there was a lot of yards given up, especially earlier in the game, and I think we would have had a much different game if Bo Nix would have hit some of those passes, and if the offense wouldn't have been scoring at the rate they were. I think they had 6 straight touchdown drives. That's tough, man. Like, unless you're matching that on the other side of the ball, the game gets out of hand very quickly. But the defense got 4 fourth down stops. That's basically 4 turnovers. Or Darius Washington had an interception on the first drive, which actually didn't even lead to anything because the Ravens offense went 3 and out and Lamar got sacked and put him out of field goal range. So while that interception's nice, it just didn't affect the game in any type of way. But the 4 fourth down stops affected the game in a major way. And then getting pressure at the end of the game, Tavius Robinson, Trenton Simpson with a huge sack at the end of the game. There's also a ton of things this defense can still improve on. I thought the pass rush was pretty absent again. I know I just highlighted Tavius Robinson and Trenton Simpson getting home, but That's with a major lead when that stuff starts to happen too. And it's not like the pass rush was getting pressure on Bo Nix all day. I thought he had a very clean pocket for a lot of this game. So with the trade deadline approaching Tuesday, I am sure that's everything that the Ravens fans are going to be talking about outside of just celebrating this win is we need to go get a pass rusher. I agree. I think that is huge. That would transform this defense if we can just get to the quarterback faster and get some natural pressures without having to bring the house. Even when we were blitzing everybody, I felt like we weren't getting home that fast. So that's scary, man. Like, we need to put pressure on quarterbacks. You know, very fortunate that Bo Nix missed multiple throws in this game. I thought he did look like a rookie quarterback, and that's not beating him up. I think he's going to have a strong career. I like Bo Nix. He went up and mossed Marcus Williams for a touchdown on a Philly special trick play. But this Denver defense just had no shot today at slowing this Ravens offense down, and we've seen this multiple games throughout this season. This is not a fluke, man. The Ravens have put up 40 a few times. The Ravens are scoring at an all-time rate on offense. This is one of the greatest offensive starts through 9 weeks that we've ever seen in NFL history. So going against a strong Denver defense that's had a lot of success against other teams, I kept saying they haven't had a challenge like this Baltimore Ravens team, and we saw that today. Let's dive into these stats, though. Lamar Jackson, we kind of already talked about it, but 16 of 19, only 3 incompletions, 280 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a perfect passer rating. Derrick Henry on the ground, 23 carries, 106 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Justice Hill added 5 for 15. Lamar was not a factor on the ground today at all. He was very elusive in the pocket, but only 4 rushing yards for Lamar. And then through the air, Zay Flowers led the way by a mile, 5 catches, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns, only 6 targets too. It's not like he was heavily targeted in this game. They were just leading to a lot of yards, averaging 25 yards a catch. Justice Hill added 3 for 43, was huge with countering the blitz, having that quick outlet screens to Justice Hill. He was big in this game. And then no one else really did much from a receiving standpoint. Aguilar had that big catch for 29 yards. Derrick Henry got in on a screen for 27 yards. Andrews had 2 catches for 26. Bateman 3 catches for 25. He had some nice conversions earlier in the game. Pat Ricard with a touchdown catch. Shout out to Pat Ricard. And then on defense, Kyle Hamilton led the way, 10 total tackles. Trenton Simpson followed up with 9 and a sack. Roquan Smith with only 3 tackles. That's got to be the lowest that he's had. Tavius Robinson with a really strong game. He had 2 sacks. Malik Harrison got credited with a sack. So the defense had 4 sacks today. And then our Darius Washington with the only interception of the game on that first drive that we talked about. Let's head over to the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix, 19 of 33, 223 yards and an interception, no touchdowns. Cortland Sutton threw a touchdown. Bo Nix caught a touchdown. Javonte Williams, 12 for 42 on the ground. Bo Nix had 6 carries for 36 on the ground. And Denver was able to rush for 122 yards, which is solid. That's more than we've let up in previous weeks. Cortland Sutton led the way in receiving, 7 catches, 122 yards. Javonte Williams, 2 catches for 42 yards. No one else did much. And then only 1 sack for the Denver Broncos on defense by John Franklin Myers and no turnovers. So great job by the offensive line. Shout out to the offensive line, man. They get beat up a lot. I'm pretty hard on them as well. I definitely think they could be better or more consistent, I should say. But they had a strong day today and deserve all the credit in the world. Derrick Henry with 100 yards on the ground. Lamar Jackson was only sacked once. And I thought the penalties this game were lower. We still had some holding calls. I think McCary got called on 2. But the Ravens did play a much cleaner game. And then they got out of this one healthy. As far as I know, there's no one really banged up. They pretty much sat their starters for the majority of the fourth quarter, which is huge because, as most of you know, we have a game this Thursday, a division game against the Bengals, and we got to be rested, as rested as you can be for a Thursday night game, I guess. They're going to be sore, they're going to be beat up, but I think we got out of this game pretty well with injuries, so that's a great sign. The Ravens are now 6-3 in a huge division game on Thursday night where we could really bury the Bengals in this division and really keep rolling, man. Our schedule's not insanely hard. We have a lot of division games, and obviously all of those are very difficult. I understand that no matter what the record is. It seems like we just struggle in the division a little bit. But if we beat the Bengals on Thursday, we completely take them out of even being in contention for the division or even the playoffs really in general. And I think the Ravens can really go on a run. I'm going to be at that game on Thursday, so if any of you guys are going, let me know, say what's up. But that's it for today, guys. I hope you're enjoying this win. Pretty stress-free win. I think we should just celebrate this one and enjoy how dominant and historic this offense is, man. This is beyond impressive. The way Lamar's playing, the way we're running with Derrick Henry, it's special. But let me know all of your thoughts about this game. Who should we trade for by Tuesday? And I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And I'll let the greatest linebacker in the history of the game take us out.
Ravens Flock. The Flock Rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. The Flock Rundown. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.